Are there any questions thus far?
Going to be tested
Besides
later.
what they're singing about. Any questions so far? No? Comments? Okay.
Sounds like an awful high range for a baritone.
Oh, yes, you noticed that. Yes. A lot of high Gs.
Yeah, did very well. Where G was the high note?
Yeah. A lot of high Gs.
Sounds fantastic.
And the soprano part, in the original score, both of her famous arias were written higher than what they're normally done these days. Her first aria, Regnava nel Silenzio, is very quiet, and she's talking in key of G and D. And then the Mad Scene has famous high E flats, but in those days, it was originally written F. It was up a whole step to accentuate the person who premiered it, because she had it.
The pitch was lower,
Well,
basically, wasn't it?
yeah, there was some of that. I think just over the course of time, a lot of sopranos said, I can't do this. Right. And they brought it down. Okay, no questions. All right, we'll move on. Oh, yes, please.
In the time of Donizetti and Verdi, wasn't the orchestra tune a tone lower? Wasn't it?
Well,
When they think of the original key today, they're actually singing higher than they would have in the
yes,
of that time.
there is some truth to that. And without getting into a huge historic lesson, in fact, each city had its own set of
A.
tuning, quite frankly. Yeah, A was not, we call A440. And close to 440, oh God, what is it?
Cycles per second.
Hertz, cycles per second. Each city had its own. And we know this, quite frankly. It's pretty amazing because there are specific instruments that they know were produced in certain cities at certain times, and they can play it and hear where it was. And I find that fascinating. Yes, there's some difference, and you can talk to some singers who sing in Europe regularly, and yes, it can go up to maybe a half step difference. And also historic, when we talk about Bach and Handel, sometimes when we talk about original instruments, generally the tuning is a little bit lower, up to about a half step, which can play havoc. If you ask me to play, transpose things on side, it's tough. If you're used to your finger going here and now it has to go there, it makes a big difference. So yeah, there is truth to that.
Is that it? Yeah. Shall we talk about the next scene? So the next scene, I guess we're not going to do a stage version with the set. We flip to the Ravenswood side of things, and that's where Lucia sings Regnava nel Silenzio, where there's a fountain on the other side of the Ravenswoods, and she talks about having recently experienced seeing a ghost who gave her a kind of a foreboding warning about her love relationship with Edgardo. So right now we're going to do the scene between her and Edgardo, who's come in to tell her that they've been the way they met was under duress because she was visiting her mother's grave. Her mother has recently died, so the whole Ashton family's kind of in mourning to begin with. And while she was at the mother's grave, she was out alone at the mother's grave, a raging bull started to charge at her. And Normanno was telling that story actually to Enrico. And a gunshot rang out, and the bull was killed. And he's in the previous scene, Enrico says, who fired that shot? And they eventually reveal that it was Edgardo. So that's how they met. He saved her life, basically. And they had this instant connection. And they've been meeting, unbeknownst to her brother Enrico, for some time. We think maybe a week or a couple of weeks or something like that. Anyway, so in this scene, he comes to tell her that he has to go abroad to France for political reasons, and they have to part temporarily. And they end up deciding that they will actually get married in the eyes of God. There's no formal ceremony, and they exchange rings, which becomes a problem later when Lucia is forced to marry Arturo Bucklaw. So here's the duet between... Oh, introduce singer, sorry. Hanna Ludwig is Alicia. Alexandra Nowakowski is our Lucia, and Mackenzie Kocher is our Edgardo. Oh, okay. Oh, right, we have sunglasses. She's not trying to be cool. In this in the original novel, the role of Alice, who is kind of her surrogate mother and maybe was her nanny when she was younger, is blind. And so we wanted to give a nod to that. In our production, she's not blind, she can see, but she wears these glasses because over the years of difficulties that the family has had, her eyes are kind of destroyed. She can see, but they sort of look like my eyes. Yeah, right. Except she's 10 times worse. So we added some tinted glasses to suggest the blindness or something wrong with her eyes. Okay.